because this is our train and it will not get hijacked. And I feel sorry for Black Lives Matters, and they had a grand idea, but somehow it got hijacked. So now you got, the leaders of the Black Lives Matters, Patrice Colliers, crying because Candace Owens pulled up at her house. Yeah, Candace Owens pulled up to one of the mansions that's in their name and says, anybody from Black Lives Matters here? I want to speak to someone, with her, two-piece outfit, fitting her bun in her hair and speaking with her tone. And then you have the Black Lives Matters go on her Instagram or whatever and talk about she's scared for her life. And, Black Lives Matters is outside with a camera crew and I'm scared for my life. I have to. Come on now. You was big and bad with George Floyd. You was big and bad when you was raising that money. And it's Black Lives Matters, right? Black Lives Matters, right? So where is the infrastructure meetings and or conversations to preserve Black lives? Because clearly, driving 200 miles to kill some black people, Black lives do matter. And it's called racism. This is why they deaded critical race theory. Critical race theory is dead. And the Democratic Party's on life support. And the only reason we're not pulling the plug right now is because of karma. And I have to basically, throw a curveball right here. Karma. Because America is going through its karma right now. Because what goes on the dark comes to the light. And right now we're seeing America have to show us who she is. And some educated, smart, successful, and highly motivated people have to make a decision based off the data, not what they tell us to do. That's why, man, I'm vibing with Kendrick, with I Want You. Because hurt people hurt people. And this is why you see what we see. If you say something on Facebook, a hurt person is going to respond negative. You say something on Instagram, a hurt person is going to respond negative. You put a picture or make a comment or say something, a hurt person is going to lash out. So it's hurt people versus unhurt people. And I'm learning too, because I'm writing this down. Hurt people hurt people. And it's crazy how in the video, Lil K. Kendrick Lamar had Will Smith in the image. That was brilliant, man. That was brilliant. And for him to get that Marvin Day clearance, man, we going to do a B.L. Glover show on that. I'm going to stay on point. I'm going to do a B.L. Glover show and talk about that. And that's K. Kendrick Lamar's song. And just letting you know where we are as a people. It would just say, verse he had in there. He said, hurt people hurt people. And that's what it's about. Because a hurt person, it's kind of like misery loves company. A happy person want to spread happiness. A loving person want to spread love. A joyful person want to spread joy. But a hurt person want to hurt people. And that's what they do. And they smile in your face until they realize you're not hurt. And then their faces become disfigured. And then they want to hurt you because of the adversarial component in their lifestyles. Because if you are a hurt person, you hurt people. If you are a liability and if you are evil, then those are rudiments that'll get you to pull a trigger on a post, a text, or a gun. It's time to change. And we on to something. I used to say we can and we will, but we are. Because this thing is functioning. This is a moving component that's moving us to the next level, to the mountaintop, to the land of milk and honey in plain sight. Because there's no one who will stand up against us and fight us. Because the only way this thing works, if they condition us to kill us, which will make it seem like we don't value our own lives. So this where you will get a whiteboard that will drive 200 miles. Y'all don't care. Y'all play music and kill each other. Y'all kill each other every day. So what's the big deal? So if we don't care about Black lives, this is why Black Lives Matters to them. Because Black lives is that good economic, y'all. It is so simple. And I don't know why we don't understand it or why we don't get it. I get it because consciousness, you got to be woke to be conscious. Because if you're not conscious, you're unconscious. You see how that works? So we're doing it. We're putting in the work. And America is going through its karma. And I'm going to throw a little curveball at you. Vivica Fox made a comment. She said, karma comes fast. And she began to talk about Kevin Samuels after he died. It's still an open case, and I take my time because I don't like taking videos down and I don't like to apologize. And my people call me out instantly. My stuff don't get to ride, you know. If I forget to put a period there and wrote a book on page 2, man, you forgot that period, man. Why was you tripping? Like, seriously. So I'm judged differently. This is why I flow and I maneuver the way that I do. So we got a plan. We moving forward. And looking at this karma, America has to continue to do what it's doing to deal with its karma. Karma. Vivica A. Fox. Death and karma are two different things. Karma, you survive what you do and you have to live with it. You have to live with it. You have to deal with it. I'm sure every man that's locked up in the penitentiary feels some type of way, whether he was entrapped, whether it was by choice, whether it was unabated, no matter what. I guarantee you 99.9% men that's in jail, incarcerated right now, understands what karma is. There's men in jail right now that's in jail of a crime that they did not commit, but by them not being clean, they was able to use and charge them with something else and make sure the time matched the crime that they couldn't get them on and keep them there. So when you're sitting up in that jail cell, you're sitting back saying, damn, you know, I didn't kill that person, but I did kill that other one. You see what I'm saying? Karma, you live. America is on life support, and she's going through her karma because there's going to be a class action lawsuit to pay out the baby boomers and Gen X. You know, we have a plan, so keep tapping in. A Better Black America on YouTube. We're going to start uploading videos over there, so go ahead and subscribe. A Better Black America TV. Website, Conservatives of America -COA. Conservatives of America -COA. COA is Colors of America, meaning we're responsible for the non-whites. And that's what we're doing until further. With compensation, with a connection with the federal government, we want bread. If you send in billions of dollars to Ukraine, I mean, earmarks some of that for us. And I'm saying class action lawsuit for lost wages, things of that nature. We're not talking about reparations, because until that 13th Amendment is amended and we're going to check the temperature on every Black Caucus member and have a vote in the Senate, and we're going to have a vote in Congress as well to see who's on it. And the only people we care about is the Congressional Black Caucuses and the minority groups for this support, to see if we can at least be on one sheet of music, because our, assignments are coming out. But karma, you live to deal with it. Karma, death, no association whatsoever, because I see too many people die on a daily basis. And then it makes me think like, okay, what if they do to die had nothing to do with it? Everybody has an expiration date, but sometimes bad, evil people do things to get rid of good people. Think about it. If you had two good people, nobody would die. It takes a bad, mean, evil person to actually start an argument. So as a people, we at least got to be united and understand that we are black, because as our race is suffering karma of what we're not willing to do or stand up against. So we will continue to suffer this karma as a race until we step up and take our gold medal, because we are the champions of the races. Accept it, stand on it, lobby, put legislation in there to make sure that we can't go back to where we come from, because finally we got the data that shows this is worse than it ever was in modern history. If you look at the 60s to right now trumps the 90s, y'all. Because we did not put on our uniform, sweatsuit, some Jordans, to go run up in somebody's house. They doing it for a sport. And it's already 3 strikes on the books. So this next law will be just 1 strike, because I mentioned the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, H.R. 55, signed by Joe Biden, March 29, 2022. All they did was add kidnapping, human trafficking, which is the pimping and pandering, taking the girls from state line, and terrorist threats. You could be facing a minimum of 30 years. This situation that happened in Buffalo, New York, is there a hate crime act? Because right now that should have been added to the lynching, because ain't nobody getting lynched. Come on. But we're dealing with a democracy that's so dirty. They go back and change a law that should have been changed 100 years ago. That's all they doing. Pandering, signing bills and legislation that should have not even been, a bill in the first place, like the Crown Act. Nobody should have been discriminated against their hair. We was discriminated against as a people. So that should have been included. Oh, we're going to sign the Crown Act. Yeah. We're going to bring Obama in here and get Obamacare. Man, come on. This is what we asked for. And it does not pass the smell test, and it doesn't pass the sight test. It looked like shit, and it smelled like shit. And we're not going to just act like we don't see this. So take the keys from mama. Tell your granddaddy that, he's a passenger now. Granddaddy ain't driving no more. And it's okay for our generation to man up and understand that we have some finished business. Now, God did not create the spirit of fear. So if you're scared, go to church and pray. You don't have to physically go in one, but you should in fellowship, but your church is in your heart. Pray for encouragement, pray for your community, pray for God's people, because God's people must stand up against the devil's advocates. The people who told us to vote for the lesser of the two evils, the people who put us in this situation, the hurt people that continue to block positive kinetic energy. Hurt people. Now, once they realize that they're hurt, now we're not saying victim. We don't play the victim card. Just understand, if you was raped before, then you could be an advocate against rape. You shouldn't be raping people. That's what I'm saying. Hurt people. I'm sure a rapist was raped. I'm sure a child molester was molested. I'm sure a murderer suffered pain through loved ones very closely associated and or being shot at. But God changes that. And this is the way that we do this. Our race survived by having a connection with God. We're spiritual people, but we're not religious. You see what I'm saying? When you talk about build and destroy, Israelite. I pull from all religions to have connectability with my people, because we all want the same thing, no matter what race, creed, or color. Love, peace, and happiness. But we have to balance the scales because we see what's going on. Joe Biden is in office.